Test, test. All right, I've got it there. Hey, David. Good. All right. I knew something would gurgle up, so glad we caught it. Let's make sure this is... The YouTube's is not coming up on main chat widget. This should hopefully fix that. Of course there's high CPU usage. Alright, hopefully your chat should start coming up in the main screen. Oh well. Hey Lily, how we doing? Let's make sure. I'm a maker some crafting. I'm unhallowed. I'm doing stuff. Alright, finally! We will dispense with the technical performance issues. Hopefully. And get back to brass tacks. Except YouTube chat is still not coming up on the main screen. Authorization with Google successful. It should work. And it looks like it is. Excellent. Alright, now I can get down to what I actually came here to do. Ta-da! Paper mache ship! Holy hell. That sounds like a project and a half. Is it a miniature paper mache ship? Or is it a colossal walk through it, bang your head on a yardarm paper mache ship? Fuzzy Bear, what's up? too much junk in here. Somebody needs to clean this place up. Sometime they gotta get on that. Sam? Oh, now you're over by the door. I get it. I get it. We come over, we walk away. All right, now we're coming back. This cat. Ah, yeah. If you can, shoot me a pic. I'd love to see it. The wood stain is still over on the fan. Okay, that's fine. Nice. Nice. I can imagine that probably went pretty darn well. Ooh. Can you share that to the Unhallowed group so we can all see? Because that would be most cool. Most excellently cool. I may start standing on this thing tonight. It's just been sitting here for a while. Yeah! Frickin' hell. Well, there's character, and then there's, dear God, I can't hold and grab my things.
We call that clutter.
You should be able to, Lily, I think. I didn't go nuts putting chatbots on this whole thing to stamp down craziness, so hopefully you should be able to. That means I'll be able to go back later and grab that. So please do. And let me know if it doesn't let you. Because I think on Twitch, or at least one of these darn services, we usually get some stupid porn bot coming in trying to tell us, hot ladies in our area just go to this website. And that crap. It's been a hell of a productive day. I went out and did a drone job on a house. Caught some lunch out. Talked to the folks next door from that house. Turns out they were selling their house. And since they let me park off the road on their property, I said, hey, you want some drone footage? I got one battery left. Hello, Victoria. How we doing? I'm going to have to groove pretty soon. I am doing pretty phantasmishnastically well. Honestly, it's been a productive, great day, and I'm about to make it a productive, great night. And I'm a big fan of productivity. A definitive fan of productivity. This one is only quasi-Halloween related. This is elements for a role-playing game which I wish to vastly, vastly improve. I suppose I could throw it out at Halloween. Nobody would be unawares. The goal, of course, is to have all your stuff be so spooky, no matter what the hell it is. You just throw it out at Halloween and everybody assumes it's terrifying. Oh. I got into the habit of popping on Twitch and watching some folks do their stuff whilst I did my stuff, and realized I could be streaming my stuff Yes, indeed, Moonshine! And at no extra cost. I've been, let's see here. When was the last time I streamed? Probably sometime around January. So I've been down the YouTube hole, up the Facebook desert, and, off in those areas. And you get to a point where it's like you come home from work, you're like, I should craft, but this couch is very comfy. And if I turn on a YouTube video, I will be on a comfy couch with a YouTube video. And it becomes difficult to move. Another factor to it as well is the fact that when I come up here to do my stuff, the computer that is handling all this streaming is downstairs. And so consequently I'm kind of dealing with a monitor that's got a 45-foot cable coming over to this thing. And what I desperately want is a new computer downstairs to do video editing on, and then take that old computer up here, so whenever there's problems on the streaming software that I use and whatnot, I don't have to, in a pinch, go all the way downstairs, try to fix it, come all the way back up. I can fix it from right there. So, I don't know why I'm blowing on this. It's supposed to be red hot. Ah. Yeah. So that's the general shtickety-doo-bop. Nobody's going to be able to see a frickin' thing. I'm moving all of you. You're all going to move now. Here we go. Whee! Yeah. Strange angles. There. Okay. I didn't see a link post through, Lily, so we'll find out at some point if that's having issues. Well, the one fuzzball just walked out, despite the fact that I was making all the appropriate come get pet noises. Little bastard. The other one, God knows. She was downstairs a few minutes ago on the chair, being snuggly. Not with this one. This is what you use when you get sick and tired of the $10 wood burners from Michaels. Let me give you a quick illustration. I'll briefly turn it up to full. Briefly turn it up to full. It has enough heat to make wood pretty much instantly auto-ignite. Yeah. When you're sick and tired of waiting for that thing to wood burn, you grab yourself one of these. Yeah. This is a Burnmaster Hawk unit, which I got a number of years ago, and whenever I feel the need to do pyrography, it comes out of wherever I've stashed it. To once more become one with the world of the incredibly hot and sexy. I mean, the hot's what it does. The sexy's just a side effect. We are making enhanced pieces for the role-playing game Dread. Because I very much want to play it. There is no way I am playing it with a regular Jenga tower. So step 1 was to order a regular Jenga tower. Step 2 was to file off every last stupid mention of Jenga on the sides. Step 3 was to laser engrave hand-drawn sigils onto the top of each and every block. Step 4 is to hand burn crazy Necronomicon runes onto the side of every block. And step 5 is going to be to stain it, and step 6 is going to be mounting green agate beads in all these end holes. Thanks, Ladybug! Step 6 is going to be to question my life choices. Things are going pretty well, Ladybug. Pretty darn well. Work is phenomenal. Moving to that new position is one of the best maneuvers I ever made. The stress level is like night and day lower. So much that I am trying to get other educator acquaintances to consider it as a career path. Which is something I would never have done 3 years ago. But it really is down to where you're working in that building. And some of the jobs are, quite frankly, simply tough. Oh, I'm definitely still teaching. 1000%. My job description, however, is no longer a straight-up classroom teacher in the alternative education program. Now I am a what's known as an integrated academic teacher in the career and technical education program. Which means that I'm the guy who goes into the welding classroom and teaches them about electricity, and I'm the guy who goes into the auto tech classroom and teaches them about electricity. And I'm the guy who goes into the carpentry classroom and teaches them. Yeah, a lot of my stuff involves electricity these days. Not gonna lie. Yeah, my OnlyFans is taken right off as well. Hashtag Thunder Walrus, you know? Oh, dear. Oh. Yeah, I don't actually do all electricity stuff. I just find that some of the most fun and amusing. We got oh, I know, Chad. That's fine. I thought that was kind of funny myself. I find the concept of Thunder Walrus to be absolutely hilarious. Got a project right now going where a student in computer networking wanted to see how much gold could be recovered chemically from a sample of old computer parts. And I think about a year or so ago now, I started watching a gentleman by the name of Dan Hurd, who does prospecting up on the Fraser River in Canada, and through him I started following a gentleman by the name of Jason from Mount Baker Mining and Metals, who does gold recovery, and it's just fascinating stuff. But I got to take some stuff that I picked up from them and incorporate it into that. Oh, nice. Education's fantastic. It really is. At least I find it so. I found the biggest key for me is the fact that education is a profession that really demands that you create and innovate, and I know that is what I was lacking in just about every other job I had before education. They did not want innovation, they did not want creativity. They said they did, but they didn't. They were lying. We want our employees to think for themselves. No, what they want is the employees to shut up, sit down, take their paycheck, and not think too much. I mean, if you come up with a way to save the company a little bit, they're all about that, but they don't actually want you to be creative. Good little corporate drones. Everybody be a good little corporate drone. I assume there probably are some positions where they do want genuine creativity, but most don't. In my experience. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. Now, good educators do one of two things. They either are extremely creative or extremely good at stealing stuff from other folks. And the best educators are good at both. Shamelessly steal, endlessly create. Hey, Michael, what's up? And Brent, how you doing? Yeah, we're back at it. I mean, I've been at it for a while. This project has had me cranking on it for ages, but I simply haven't been streaming most of it, because a lot of it was me sitting in front of a laser engraver going, alright, realign it, realign it, realign it again. Kind of had a Lieutenant Dan moment with my laser engraver. We've made peace at long last. I understand it now. It understands me. Hey, Carmen, how we doing? Yeah, it's been a bit. I am hoping that... I say this every year, but what the hell, let's keep going for it. I'm hoping that when summer vacation comes along, I will spend more time in the craft room. And I truly do, but you simply never know what's going to happen. But I always seem to say that line every single year, so screw it. I'll stick with it. I finally got to order one of those 9-foot monstrosities from Home Depot. I chose the Inferno pumpkin because everybody and their brother does the 9-foot skeleton. It's not a bad one, but it doesn't quite fit our stuff. Awesome. Glad to hear you're doing well. Let's go off the reservation on this one. Oh. And another person I follow on Twitch was doing some pyrography. Got me thinking that it might be amusing. I haven't busted out the hawk in quite a while, so I think the last thing I was doing was my my sword hangers. I haven't seen the 20-foot tall ones, only the 9-foot tall ones. Hey, Keith, what's up? And Moonshine, which game? Oh, the game that I'm... the game that I'm playing. Dread. It's called Dread. Yeah, if you want, post a link in the Facebook group or the community whatever thing on YouTube. Either one. Hey, that one's done. Yeah. Suffice to say, turn this on for just a second. Heats up stupidly fast. Anyway. Some of you may be familiar with role-playing games, some of you may not be familiar with role-playing games, but suffice to say, in most role-playing games, you are pretending to be a character, and most major decisions are made by rolling a dice. You know, I got some spooky dice around here somewhere. They were up here, I swear. I swear they were. They're hiding. So, again, in most role-playing games, you roll a dice. This is a resin gem, but that's not the point. But in Dread, what you do is you have a Jenga tower. And when you need to make something happen, you pull from the tower. And when the tower falls, your character is dead, or otherwise eliminated from the story. So consequently, people take their pulls very, very seriously in the game. Because you don't roll, you pull from the tower. And if you drop the tower, you die. 12-foot skeletons. Are they 12 or are they 9? I thought they were 9. The hell did I just buy from... So there's no dice. There is only pulling from the tower. Yep. My modulation on this, though, and the problem that I do have with Dread, which I'm assuming there's plenty of workarounds for, is the fact that when your character is dead, you're out of the story. And I don't want anybody to be in that position, because then you get a little bored and you're waiting for other people to finish up and you don't really have any agency in the story. So, my blocks have all manner of interesting sigils on them, which correspond to certain aspects. And I want to find a way to integrate those folks back into the game. Ah, we've received your order. What did I buy? It is! It's 12 feet. Maybe I can find a picture of it. Whee! Hey, Berlina, how we doing? There's a phantom. Ooh. Welcome back, ready to check out. No, I already checked out. I already done did it. Yeah, it's 12 feet. See, that's all washed out and invisible. I can tell because I can see it on the camera. See, it's still washed out and invisible. That's how cool it is. Here, let's angle it slightly. There. Now it's not panning at the camera. So this one is the 12-foot Inferno pumpkin. Yeah. Should be absolutely awesome. I have no idea where I'm going to put it. I have less idea where I'm going to store it. But that's not the point. The pumpkin's a much better fit for my stuff. Ooh. Let's reheat. Fortunately, it being a giant transformer, it tends to heat up pretty fast. There are a few folks who do leave theirs up year-round. And quite frankly, I can't say I blame them. If you spend, $300-400 on a prop, you want to make sure you get your money's worth out of it. Woo! It's like cutting onions. Well, I'm pretty sure I can put it up by myself. My buddy Don should be there to give me a hand with it, if all comes worst to worst. I'm planning on building it lying down, and then hoist it up. There's no way, obviously, I could build it vertically. That would be silly. Super silly. Then eventually I'll probably have to hire some teenager to come on over and give me my old ass a hand. I'm actually a little bit curious because last year I had a trick-or-treater inquire if they could show up with a spooky costume and stalk around and haunt. And I told them that when Halloween came by, they needed to put a message in my mailbox, and I would try to set things up, because I don't want somebody coming over that their parents don't know where the hell they are. Zombie horse! Sadly, I don't think my haunt would be a good one for a zombie horse. How about you guys? I am getting stoked for that new convention that's supposed to be around Pennsylvania next April. The closest thing to me was Haunt Fair, and the organizer of that had some trouble with they had cancer treatments, so consequently they were not in a position to keep running that event, sadly. I would love to get some of those inflatable tentacles that go flailing out of the windows of whatever area you've got them. The downside is when I looked on them, they were stupidly expensive. So I figure it'll take about 6-8 years for some company to get ambitious enough to start making them at a price for haunters. Yep, East Coast Haunt Con. That is where I want to be in April. Yeah, if stuff's got a hole in it, that's... And again, depends on how hard it is to repair, too. As we all know, sometimes a pile of junk can turn into one hell of a prop. Provided you have an idea of what you want to do with it before you buy the pile of junk. Sorry, didn't mean to say that out loud. Hey, Steamwood, how we doing? I think there's a lot of people out there who always end up talking to the haunt channels going, I just bought this thing, what should I do with it? If you didn't know what to do with it, you probably shouldn't have bought it. Fantastic. I don't know about you all, but I am glad that the cold weather is apparently ending. Not saying it is. It's just apparently doing it. Sorta, maybe, kinda doing it. Because if I say it's gone, it will come back. It will bring all of its friends. Now, my showstopper for this Halloween is probably going to be that 12-foot Inferno pumpkin. The other thing I really want to get, though, is the... they've got those stacking pumpkins. It's about a 6-foot pumpkin, one on top of the other, and they store up because they all fit inside of each other. So I would not at all mind getting 2 stacks of them. And that one's done. Which means these guys are cycled through on the inspiration track. Yep. Got this stack and another 6, 12 to go. Yeah, those stacks are very nice. They fit our theme exceptionally well. I'm pretty sure you do too, Keith. Nice. The extraterrestrial thing is a thing I have never really tapped myself. Me neither. But, hey, to each their own. I like my cornfields and pumpkins. Cornfields, scarecrows, and pumpkins. Have you guys seen... I think Jeff Mays is working on a massive mache alien. I forget if it's him or if it's Steve. I think it's Jeff. I know he's been posting pictures of it for a while on the Facebooks. Yeah, his witches are great too. Probably one of the most close to pumpkin rot style things I have seen from anybody. Absolutely. I'm sure Jeff's part of a few groups. does have a lot of copycats. I don't necessarily consider that a terrible thing, because quite frankly, I'd love to be a complete copycat of his stuff. I think he's got the dark Halloween motif down better than almost anybody else I've ever seen. If I could have my haunt be a clone of his stuff, I wouldn't necessarily mind that. Nice. I know that if I remember reading stuff from other people enough, he doesn't really seek the limelight in any way, so I don't know any of his actual online identities. We're in full sweep, or sweep, no, full sweep. I'm honestly just glad everybody came around tonight. It's good to see all the haunt faces. I was definitely not expecting that when I booted up. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm definitely a tremendous fan of his work. It honestly kind of inspired me to up my game. I don't think I've seen his Tin Man. Hey, Kimberly, how we doing? We're all rocking and rolling. We want to do a quick test to make sure the Twitch chat's working. Not that anybody's watching on there. I just want to make sure that if anybody was, that it was functioning. Can I visit this idiot's stream? Chat. There we go. Send a message. Test. Yes. IR function. On YouTube, huh? I'm guessing if I search Pumpkin Rot Tin Man, it should show up. Pumpkin Rot Tin Man. Holy Jeebus. This will probably not show up worth a snot on the camera because that's the nature of cameras, but the man is a goddamn genius. Yeah. Goddamn genius, Gump. Yeah, I think it's like that wetted brown paper type technique, which I've never seen replicated because I don't think he builds stuff, but I don't think he's ever done a tutorial. Oh. Oh. Yeah, that is a phenomenal scarecrow. But I would expect nothing less of Pumpkin Rot. Absolutely nothing less. Ooh. Yeah, I did want to test to make sure all the chat is coming up on the primary screen. Yes, it is fantastic. There we go. Oh, don't want anything freezing. There we go. Oh, we do not like the freezy computer. Freezy computer is very bad. Let's orient things differently here. What a wonderful evening. Oh yeah. Some of the ones I've already started with one side. I still need to do the back. They're going to get stained, and then all the holes on either end are going to get filled with these agate spheres as well. So it's going to be a truly dreadful dread tower. Stain everything. We'll get the stones mounted. To be honest with you, the biggest pain in the butt was going online, finding all the... there are some wonderful artists out there who have done some beautiful imaginings of pages from Lovecraft's Necronomicon. And trying to just sit down in front of the computer and try to mimic all of their Eldritch rune figures that they've got. Because some of them are, I mean, they're just beautifully monstrous. It is truly it's the language of Mordor. Also makes me think I should stream Sunken City again at some point, too. But dear Lord, has it been a lot of work. Because every single laser engraving on the top of the blocks took anywhere from 4 to 15 minutes, depending on where I was in my learning curve. Yep. And now we've got the sign engraving. I'm almost a little... I'm not too miffed because the top of the sigils here is so much less dark than the crud I'm burning into the sides, but if I'd gone over it 10 times with the laser engraver, it would have taken so long. I was actually lamenting to there's a, God, I don't know if he's a haunter or not, but a gentleman by the name of Bill Walcott who got onto my Facebook friends list. I guess he has some laser engraver of insane power and amazingness, which he is using for professional stuff. And he's always posting the stuff that he's making with it, and I'm always thinking, God damn you and your awesome super burn, ultra dark, amazing laser cutter. Of course, the unit's like a $12,000 one, so I am not going to be getting one of those anytime soon. I'll have to stick with my little civilian model. Or I will hatch an evil plan and convince the visual communications class at work that they desperately need one of these things. And there I will be, a friendly science teacher willing to help them set it up. We should do a test run to make sure everything works. What do you have in mind? I want to make another Jenga set. You guys using that $12,000 laser burner again this week? I thought I'd do another test project. One of my buddies over at another nearby school district has a Glowforge. He's a tech teacher over there. And the nice thing with the Glowforge is that it's got a camera inside that is pretty much guaranteed to be aligned. And that has been the one chagrin with mine, is that I cannot seem, for the life of me, to get a camera aligned to it. These are all sun sigils. Okay. Pardon. Oh, no wonder. That was a stack of 3. Oh. Lean back, scratch it. Ah. Oh. I'm already running that laser at about 100%. It's one of those catch-22s. If you run it at 100% all the time, you'll wear out the laser diode faster. I started running it at 100% at the end of the run because I think, how often do I use this damn thing? I may as well just start getting as much use out of it as possible. So it's one of those, if you run it at 100% all the time, you will wear out the diode faster, and it's got to be replaced. Replacing them is not a huge problem. even though it is occasionally it's an expense, obviously. But mine is what's known as a diode laser, and the more expensive industrial units are usually known as their CO2 lasers. So they use a more powerful system. That also comes with its own problems because you also have to have vastly improved heat sinks for those industrial units. Burn these for me, God damn it! I'm sure he could. I don't know. I like the pride of doing it myself. Because otherwise, I spent a couple $100 on a laser engraver for no goddamn good reason. Because I'm just sending it out. These are for a role-playing game called Dread. And Dread is somewhat unique in that where most role-playing games, when you need to do something that matters to the story, you end up rolling a dice. In Dread, you do not roll a dice. You pull from a Jenga tower. And if you cause the tower to collapse, your character dies. So the whole aspect of dread comes into play. The tower is slowly becoming more and more unstable. And you dread having to make your pull. Yep. I've also ordered the game from the podcast Old Gods of Appalachia, which is a really nice horror anthology podcast. It's got some nice spooky tales, a nice gravelly voice narrator. Maybe he's not gravelly voice, but I like his voice. And it's all Appalachian lord, strange beings, old gods. And it's just an excellent little story series, of which I'm extremely fond. I would love to make some adventures in that world. Well, I'll show you quickly why I don't usually use this thing at 100%. So, first off, now it's turned up to 100%. And the problem with it tends to be I'm amazed it hasn't done it already. Very amazed it hasn't done it already. Typically at 100% power, the wood auto-ignites. And while I doubt the camera will pick it up, what we tend to find on 100% burn, yeah, it's getting out of focus, is that on a less than 100% burn, you'll get black all the way down to the root of the burn. But if you crank it up to 100%, you get whatever oils are in the wood to come out at such a rate that they almost instantly vaporize, and you get kind of a Leidenfrost shielding. So you get kind of an outline burn, but the very root of the burn is still vaguely wood-colored. So it's not as in depth just due to the flash fire effect. Plus, it's really friggin' hot. I'm not gonna lie, I do have to stop every now and again with this thing and just let my hands cool off for a bit. It's not as uncomfortable as a $10 wood burner with one of those parabolic shields on it, but it is a red-hot piece of metal in close proximity. It gets a little torchy. Wondering if I have a back scratcher over here. I thought I brought one over. And I have to mount the mouth jewel on this guy. It came out pretty well. I also need to see if I want to stop here on him or load up some of the cotton. I think I'll probably see how this works. Got a bunch of projects that are in the middle of witchwooding stages that need to find out. I'm a fantastic dentist, as this guy can attest. He used to have a full mouth of choppers. I am kind of wondering where the hell his gem went, though. I had one that was mostly clear that was going to be shoved in his mouth. Oh well. I'm sure he'll forgive me. If I was a dentist's office, I'd be explaining why I don't turn the drill up to 100%. If I turn the drill all the way up to 100%, you see, it won't go to the root of your tooth. Your tooth disintegration will actually shield a piece of your tooth from the drill. And then you will be back to me in a week. And I have no idea why I switched into a German accent when talking about dental torture. That probably says more about me than it does about the Germans. And I see that the new Dune, well, I should say not the new Dune, but the next installment of the Dune movies will be coming out at some point sooner rather than later. Kind of looking forward to that. Oh, thank you. If I start getting a little pickled, I'll switch to Scottish. Speaking of a little pickled, it's Saturday night. Oh, let's pickle. Let's get the dust off, and then let's pickle. And let's make sure the mouth's clean enough, and then we'll pickle. This is a craft room after all. Garbage happens. Pickle juice. Slante. Woo! Oh God, you're gonna make me say the name. Jesus. Are you ready? This is, and I pulled the label off so at some point I can use it for a witch bottle, Naluka Babuni. And now you can close your mouth and stop looking at me like I have a fish growing out of my head. Naluka Babuni. Which is Polish for Grandma's medicine. Or something along those lines. I dated a lovely Polish girl once who told me that's pretty much what it translates to. I should probably shoot her a message. I haven't said hi in a while. Ah, very cool, sister. Are you full Polish, speak Polish from Poland, or are you Polish by heritage? I'm just Polish by heritage. 25% Polish, 25% Italian, 50% mystery sauce. Go, fantastic. From Poland, blonde, Polish hair, blue eyes. Well, get your ass over here and marry me, for God's sakes. Very cool. Along those lines, do you have a confirmation of that translation for Naluka Babuni? Naluka Babuni. I can even sketch it out. Some sure I have a writing utensil thing around here somewhere. Oh, where is the box of things that make marks on things? There we go. Naluka Babuni. Kind of hoping Don logs in right now because he'll see that and he'll laugh his ass off. Because one of the most fun things you can do when you're getting pickled on it, Grandma's tincture, cool. Would tincture transfer to medicine in this case, or are we definitively staying within the field of tincture? Oh, pardon. Okay. So Grandma's booze, gotcha. I'll still take it. Well, we have the Grandma's part correct from my other friend. For my part, I know that when I drink it and get absolutely pickled on it, it is extremely fun to shout at the top of your lungs when you are pickled on it. It becomes a drunken war cry. Naluka Babune! And every year, my parents go to New Hampshire, and they stop at the alcohol store there, and they usually ask me, can we get you anything? And I always tell them, I would like Naluka Babuni. And then they stare at me like I have a lobster growing out of my head. But that's their problem. Right now, I am wood burning a Jenga set to be used, not as a Jenga set, but as a fate-determining element in a role-playing game that I would like to run that is Halloween-y and horror-based. However, there was no way in heaven or earth I was going to play this game with a set of actual Jenga tiles, because those are insanely boring compared to what I am capable of doing. So we're going to cover it with Eldritch Runes, stain it, and I laser engraved every single piece with its own definitive symbology. There are 9 symbols that I hope to have different effects when and if I ever get around to playing this. I'm kind of hoping that That will happen a little closer to haunt season. And I purchased a number of very lovely agates to mount inside the pieces. Everything will be laser engraved and hand engraved and stained. And I 3D printed a case to contain all my stuff inside, and that will need additional decoration too. I'm going to put it this way. I took an $11 game and turned it into 87 hours of craft work. Thank you. Every now and again, us filthy Americans have got to get a few things right. Sadly, the only language I ever did any specialized education for was Spanish. And then, when I got out of school for it, I didn't really pursue it much. And to a certain extent, I regret that. Spanish was very cool. In, God, what grade was that? I believe I originally picked it up in U.S. 9th grade. And it was very nice because we had a native speaker who was from the province of Andaluz in Spain. And she was a very good teacher. And she taught us to speak it with the Andalusian accent, where they put a lot of TH sounds in place of the C. And then I switched schools. And the new school was... The lady there but was by no means a bad teacher. But she was teaching it to folks who were... It's unfair to say trying to get by, because they were just taking the class to pass the class. But we didn't have a lot of folks there who were planning on visiting Spain or Mexico anytime soon. Pardon. But it is a testament to her skill that when I got to the new school, they took me right out of Spanish 3 and put me right into Spanish 4. even though I only had technically 2 years of Spanish before that. Because I was running rings around the Spanish 3 students. Of course, if I went back in the same class right now, I would sound like somebody who definitely should not be in that class. Naluka Babuni is... There are a couple of flavors over here in the U.S. when and where you can get it. The predominant one is simply a honey liqueur, which I remember, if I recall correctly, is of a class of honey-based drinks. They're not mead in that they're much more hard liquor, where mead is more of a wine fermentation. The class of drink, I believe, is known as krupnik. As I have some more variants downstairs, which go by the name of krupnikas. And if you really want to feel like you got your face smashed in with a beehive attached to a baseball bat, then you go out and you find yourself a drink called Kas. K-A-S. And I guarantee you, if you drink a bottle of Kas, you will be having a very amusing night. The closest Polish store that I am familiar with is up in Utica. There is a wonderful Polish market by the name of Hapanowitz Brothers. And it is the only place for miles around that you can get a good golubki. There's also a raspberry Naluka Babuni brand one. And there is a cherry, but I don't believe it's made by the same company. Comes in a different shaped bottle. So I don't think it's quite the same. I adore pierogis. Absolutely adore them. You can get them around here, but they're the mass-produced market brands, which aren't necessarily bad, but, you know, it's one of those homemade snobbery things. But yeah, if I can get pierogi, I am happy to do so. Absolutely happy to do so. Hapanowitz Brothers is one that we frequent because it is probably the best kielbasa you can get for miles around. Rawr. Because it's like, there's like the Park Street Deli brand. It's the Oscar Mayer Wiener hot dog version of a kielbasa that they've got around here generally. And those are not so great. But if you go to Hapanowitz Brothers, then you are getting some good kielbasa. Golubki, pierogi, they're all excellent there. And I think they've got Kishka as well. But I have not had Kishka in quite a while. Special meals in an American kitchen. We have fried grease sautéed in unhealth, fried grease, unhealth, and heart disease. I can't honestly think of any definitively American dishes. I mean, you could possibly argue the hamburger. But that's one, again, that's arguable. Because somebody will always say, the hamburger is just a copy of X, Y, or Z. Which, they probably wouldn't be wrong. I think amongst the things that are American, honestly, American food is a lot of really good bastardizations of more ethnic foods. Like if you go into a Chinese restaurant around here, you're guaranteed to find the infamous General Tso's chicken, which, you know, is about as Chinese as I can't believe I hit a wall on that one, because I was about to say it's about as Chinese as the Ford Motor Company, but I have no doubt that the Ford Motor Company probably has branches in China. And I was hard-pressed to think of something that you simply probably would not find in China, considering that they are exceptionally globalistic in their adaptation and economic policies. There's there is another YouTube channel which I am not 100% sure of the name at this moment, but the theme of the channel is a gentleman who is eating his way through history. So he finds unique recipes endemic to different time periods. Hey Sarah, how we doing? So he has made Roman garum. He has made a traditional Italian pizza, which, along that line, an Italian pizza, when it was first made, was far more of like a sweet bread cake that was served to, you know, high officials in the Vatican. So I think American foods are very good at taking ethnic foods and turning them into some strange American mess. That is the one. Tasting History. An absolutely excellent channel. There is another gentleman who does a number of historic recipes. There are several channels that do historical recipes. I can't think of the other fellow's name, but if you search Nutmeg Tavern, you will find his Townsend's. Yes. Yeah, and it's all down to also what you consider to be pizza. Because there are some folks, it's the fast food franchise. Pizza is pizza to them, always will be, and nothing else will be. But then you go to other parts of the world and you say pizza, and you will get something entirely not what you expected. And to a certain extent, it's the same way with Mexican foods. If you go down into Mexico and you ask for a taco, you will get something distinctly different than what you get at Taco Bell. So, if there is a definitively American food, it is our appropriation and ransacking of otherwise cultural foods into our own unique mess. I would say that is probably the most culturally American food out there that could be not necessarily exported, but, you know, if you were sitting in another country saying, let's have something American tonight, you'd be thinking along the lines of, let's have something that somebody else developed and Americans made interesting changes to. So how you doing, Sarah? Oh God, it's gonna be... What time is it here? It's 11:26, so it's about 4:30 in the morning in the UK, which means it's got to be about 5:30 in the morning in Poland. Thank you for hanging out with me at this disgusting hour, sister. We are indeed a very diverse country. And I think there's a lot of room to develop your own interesting takes on any number of recipes from other places. Kind of like the chop suey fad in the 1800s. Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. I wish I would get up early to go to the gym. Although if I am to make the new Halloween convention in April, then I do need to start getting a lot more active. So I have no intention of huffing and puffing my way around that. I am thoroughly relaxed. Ah, yes, linguiça! I remember getting linguiça in New Bedford. A lot of Portuguese restaurants in there. Oh! Yeah, surprise, Sarah. Oh, you're from New Bedford. Fantastic. I love New Bedford. Yeah, I've, over time, just kind of handed out the odd moderator status to a few folks who show up regular and don't seem to be huge troublemakers. So just in case, like, a porn bot came through here, if you wanted to, you could kick it out. I mean, why should I have all the fun? Ah, Dartmouth. My parents used to very heavily follow Dartmouth football at one point. Way back in the day. It's time for a Naluka Babuni break. I still have to make those crystal candles. Ugh. Not that I'm not upset about that, but I've been working on the 3D design for the base of them for a while because I want to 3D print those and use it as a frame to put the witchwood on.
Sassy's good. We like Sassy. Oh, it's so good. Oh, snap, crackle hands. Looking around, seeing what I have to dry things on. Unfortunately, there is a sea of clutter right now in the craft area. So if I start staining, I will not have... I will not have a whole bunch of area to set things on to dry. I highly recommend Naluka Babuni, though it's insanely sweet. So if you are the kind of monster that drinks dry wines and dry liqueurs and dry stuff, you will not like it. And all that fun stuff. See, and that's why I try to get moderators. Hello, TwitchBot. Oh. Yep, I don't know if it's still in there. We'll see. Yeah, Naluka Babuni, incredibly sweet, very fiery, very alcoholic. It is more of a honey liqueur than a honey wine, but it's so good. It's so good. If you're like me, and everybody should be like me, you'll enjoy it very much. Let me give this 2 coats of stain. I was a little concerned that the walnut might be a little bit too light. But I didn't want to go too dark of a stain because then I knew my sigils would never show up. Actually, I could set things to dry right in here because this whole thing is going to get stained anyway. This would give us a good opportunity to hit a few areas with some stain and see how the smeg they look. Yeah. All right, we're gonna do these 3, and then we'll do some staining. I'll put on my smock, and we shall smack some smocks. I don't know if that's a word, and I don't care. Oh, I'd love to have some music going. Oh. All these Amazon, Twitch nutballs decided to declare war on music because they weren't making their money. If it's not rap, and it's not twangy twangy country that talks about the truck being broke and your wife leaving you, then it's usually fine. There are very few types of music I don't enjoy. Recently, I went back and I found an old folder in else. It was some old computer folder of mine that I tucked away for storage, and it has followed its way through several computers that was full of old songs that I had not listened to in an age. And, yeah. Yeah, it's the rap that swears every other word and talks about nothing but drugs and criminality that I find absolutely intolerable, quite frankly. I'm sure there's some rap that's good. Let me put it this way. Being an educator, I have found that every single time I had a student listening to rap music in my classroom, and bearing in mind that in school we're trying to get these kids who curse like sailors to be able to control that instinct, turn it on and off, as in not do it in class, but do it at appropriate times. Every single time I heard rap music, it was always the cursey stuff. Every single time. So I really just couldn't ever find anything that didn't make me have to address a student about it. And that was awful. I would agree to that too. The instrumentals and musical complexity of rap is somewhat low compared to other forms. Mind you, the lyrical end can get extremely complex. It just gets complex with things that I would rather not hear. And that's my personal bias, so... But yeah, I'd rather not listen to that. A lot of soundtrack music is very nice. Almost anything Celtic is very enjoyable for me. In terms of German stuff, I can always go for a little bit of Rammstein. Wolfgang Petri is excellent. Who else? There's a few other bands from that side of the pond that I enjoy listening to. Have a good one, Joey. Thanks for swinging in. Du hast mich gefragt. Du hast mich gefragt. Ja, du hast mich gefragt. Yes. Rammstein is wunderbar. And richtig, if I remember right. I took a little bit of a Duolingo German class. But the trouble I had with German was the fact that in being a non-native speaker, I did not have the sense of the gender of the nouns. And that got really, really crazy. In Flames. Let's look it up.
Let's see if I have a set of... Oh, hey! My jawbones, holy crap. Probably ought to work with them a little bit at some point, too. I don't know, for 2 projects. I have a set of headphones. Headphones! Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Let's listen to a little bit of it.
In Flammen. In Flames. I think my favorite song of Rammstein is Mein Herz brennt. I said, in the flames. I'm gratified that you want to tell me that I'm online, but I would like to hear some tunes. We'll pick the number one and see what we got. Yeah, Nuclear Blast Records, good. Yes. Ooh. Oh, I like the animation of the onset. We got a groovy start. I should probably set a This is going to be tough to position. I might want to use a dollop of green stuff to hold this together. Yeah, In Flames got a nice beat to it. Some of the lyricals have got me reminding of Breaking Benjamin. 80s is good too. Ooh-ah. Oh, very cool. Quite frankly, all the best black metal / metal type bands are from Scandinavian countries. God, Nightwish was Finnish, if I remember right. Got sigil again. And one of the other problems I have with this little Jenga set of mine is a few of my laser burns were misprints when things got misaligned. Listening to the song Meet Your Maker, and it's pretty goddamn good. Dream Theater is pretty good. I have not heard any of their stuff in quite some time. There's a band called Delane that I listened to a while ago. What else? I think one of the downsides is that I don't have music going on a lot in the background. Just in general. I don't know why. I enjoy music. I just don't always. It doesn't always occur to me to turn it on. But I definitely know that when crafting, it's nice to have some tunes going. And I suppose I have a a deeper angst that I am angry at the fact that all these web services, streaming companies are all, are you playing copyrighted music? Can't do that. Mostly because I got permission to play music from several bands, and if I have to, even if I play them, I still get hit with copyright crap from these companies that just, they've got bots that just listen to channels, and if anything comes up from their musician clients, they slap a copyright claim on the video. I'm going to have to go through 14 pages of paperwork to prove that, yes, I actually do have permission to play the music. And it's just a tremendous hassle. A hassle which could be overlooked if they would just put me on a whitelist for that, but they refuse to do that. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Classic. Classic issues. But it's okay, because I am having a wonderful time wood burning. I'd quite forgotten just how fun it is to do a little bit of pyrography. Witch skulls. I've made many modifications to skulls, I should say. I've got all the ones on, some of the witch bottles have skulls. I got this guy here who's got the crown and whatnot. I need a fair amount of stuff. Yeah, I did witchwooding on skulls. I don't tend to make them fully just because you can get them relatively cheaply from Home Depot from Halloween. So it's down to, can I make it? Yes. Is it economical for me to make it? If yes, then yes. If no, then we'll buy it. And then heavily modify it. But I sure as hell have made a lot of pumpkins. That I can lay fair claim to. Well, thank you. Really enjoy crafting and making. And Halloween has been a brilliant excuse to employ things to further my vision. Plus, I get to see everybody spooked and happy every year. And that's the biggest thing of all. There we go. Now we're shedding sparks. Alright. 1, 2, 3 more sides, and then we'll switch to staining for a bit. Much as I love pyrography, it's getting hot. Have a fantastic one, sister. Thank you for hanging out with us. May your trip to the gym be awesome and eventful. Yeah, I'll have to see. I gotta get, I'd like to get a few more pumpkins done for this year. It'll be down to how things pan out for crafting time. I don't see myself doing too much during the summer, unless I get a lot of drone jobs. But those are never a guarantee. It's one of those. They're nice, but we don't count on them. My sister seemed like a pretty cool individual. I'll listen to more In Flames. My song stopped. Yeah, I got a side hustle doing drones for real estate. That's where I went out today. Nearby town of Franklin. I went out and did some of that. In Flames playlist. This YouTube doesn't know what the hell it's doing. There we go. 61 songs by In Flames. Let's listen. Well, I'm gonna listen because YouTube will me if I put it on. Sorry. Sounds of a playground fading. Yeah, it was kind of nice. I went out and one of the biggest problems with doing that is trying to find a spot to park where your vehicle's out of sight. And fortunately, the folks who lived next door to the house that I wanted to photograph were kind enough to let me park in their area after I asked. And then they let it slip that they were looking to sell their house. And I said, hey, I got a battery left. You want me to do the drone work on it? Like, yeah, would you? And so I did. What a phenomenal evening. The only thing that's going to be weird is that when I first started doing these, I was using a slightly different runic weirdness. my pattern has evolved over several iterations. Yes! Definitely 2 birds with 1 drone. One of the contracts, the guy said that it was a rush job because he wanted it to be in some sort of magazine for the real estate company. And I really want to ask him, hey, it's going to be in a magazine. Could you send me a copy so I can add that to my list of feats for anybody else who might want to hire me? Yeah, In Flames is pretty good. Jesus. Thank you, sister. All right. 2 more! 2 more! We'll finish these staining. We'll get those stained on 3 sides, and then we'll only have 12 left to go. So only 24 surfaces. Ah! How did I do that? I am infinitely glad I bought this burner all those years ago. Wish I could remember how much the damn thing cost. Anybody else crafting anything tonight or recently? Should have asked Keith what he was up to. He was working on something recently. He's been making those big skull bottles that look pretty snazzy. Chris the Carolina Hunter usually pops on sometimes too. He's always got something nifty up his sleeve. Looming, very cool. Got any particular types of projects you're doing, Sarah? Hats and shawls, cool. So I know you can do a lot with it. Oh, let's see here. Make some new shapes. Just gotta look witchy. Nice. Shade pieces. 2 to 3 months. Oh, wow. I can imagine, especially if you're doing a big weave. How long? I mean, a shawl's got to be, what, 3-4 feet wide? A couple thousand skeins? And I'm guessing, Moonshine, you got antique things and you're adding paper mache stuff to them. Want to make sure I'm grasping what you're putting down. Really reminds me of Breaking Benjamin. It's awesome. Oh, round loom. Neat. $5 foot. Sorry, it's gotta be almost midnight over here. Round loom. Oh, that sounds awesome, Moonshine. Now you got me thinking. Thank you. Paper. 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 Not that much paper. We may not have a choice here. Alright, can I catch it before it hits the floor? Hey! Ha-ha! I am a genius. Not really, but close enough. Shrines. Hanging shrines. Thank you. Got my brain buzzing. I need a scribbly thing. Pencil would be better. Kind of work. There we go. Hanging shrine. Ooh, pardon me. That would make also an excellent base for one of those crystal lamp. witchwood the whole thing. What else could we put in there? Skulls are a little bit cliche. It's so much a better idea than such a better idea than the candlesticks. I'd have to rip out the guts of those flashlights, but that wouldn't be hard. And I could 3D print. Yes. Yes. Oh, we could put creepy wood stick figures. Creepy wood icons. Slash figures. Creepy straw figures. What else could go into one of those things? It would look. Animal head wouldn't quite do it for my haunt, unless it was a crow. Bottles of bones. Be a great mount for a witch bottle. Potion bottle in there with yeah. Like a full crow. I'm gonna see what kind of I'm willing to bet somebody has made like a wall sconce 3D print mount. And I've got a lot of print area, and I've got some really good filament right now. Full crows are interesting. There's a lot more stuff I'd love to make out of witchwood, but it takes so much... Well, I didn't say it takes so much time, but it takes time. I am going to research that concept, though, because that could be cool. And quite frankly, I've already got something like that here. We'll check the 3D print designs, because also I may be able to make something simple out of cardboard. I only have so much wall space in the garage. Unless I make them hanging. I've got that one brick face on the house that I never know what the hell to do with. Things. Many ideas flowing forth. I do love ideas. So many ideas. What? Now Luca Babuni? Somebody said now Luca Babuni. Holy crap. Woo. I hear you, Sarah. I'm being sustained right now by creativity and alcohol. And alcohol. And more alcohol. Have an excellent night, Sarah. Thank you for swinging in. Alright, I need to be careful. My breath gets too close to this red hot thing here. It'll ignite. Feels like it. Now Luca's got a bit of a kick to it. Hoo-ah! Always motivation. Always. Screen went dark again. Rectify that. Screen. I'll go dark. Stay awake. Stay awake. We got staining to do. Let's do that a little bit more cleanly. There's a very lumpy transition. Okay, good. Fantastic. Save those final 12 pieces for a future time. I'm going to go grab my stain. One sec. Some cardboard with some paint on it. That'll be useful. All right. Stain, smock. Smock time. My music has stopped. Usually means there's a thing they're saying, are you sure you're still listening? Yes, continue watching. Alright. Let's make a little space. A lot of these stained pieces are going to go right into that arch. Alright. Take a trip again. Cool. Yeah. I gotta do a little sanding or filing on that. Okay, let's unplug this. Don't like fire hazards. Don't need sanding sponges for this one. These fragments didn't do very well in that last experiment. Probably toss them. Don't see my modeling stuff. Sculpt media. Please don't be dehydrated. Seems alright. We'll see how much we need. I'll be a dick. What did we just say? We said, don't be a dick. Alright, know where it is if I need it. Let's see if that's enough. Yep, that's what the cardboard's for, even though I didn't know I needed it.
I might need a little more green stuff. File it down after it sets. It's not going to be perfect. Do not worry about it. I do need to find a spot where we can sit undisturbed. Well, I hopefully will not go bumping into it like an idiot. I can't guarantee the idiot part, but I can guarantee the bumping into it. Unless, of course, I'm an idiot. I get Go Gadget Epoxy Putty. Yeah, if I don't like it, I can always let it wrap the center. Alright, you guys need to be a little bit more.
this would be a balancing act. I can just file the ends down too if I don't like it. Too much clutter. Way too much clutter. These, I saw somebody online who had, it was like a candle holder made with 3 animal jawbones, but they had a central stick going up that was made of metal, and then the 3 jawbone halves came off of it. And I thought, what if you just made a candle holder with 3 jawbones? So I 3D printed 3 jawbones. And then we'll have a top on them, and then I'll put some sort of candle for Halloween. And I'll paint these all up to look like bones. So I'll have a witchy candle holder made of 3 jawbones. But the big challenge was always going to be getting them splayed out correctly. And seeing them on the table there reminded me I had them, and I kind of want to get them, not necessarily all done and set, but I want to get them started, progressed. So we're going to have some witchy candle holders. Some more witchy candle holders. Who am I kidding here? I've got witch bottles. I've got all sorts of crap. I have so much stuff. And I didn't even have these sculpting tools that I so meticulously picked out. Because that putty is just not holding up quite the way I wanted it to. I will look over later, and if they are sinking down, then, and only then, will I give them a hit of hot glue. They're fine. They're fine. Don't worry about it. Ugh. Always problematic. Okay. Let's do some low stress staining. Low stress. Until it's high stress. Until it's high stress. God, I got my flathead screwdriver right there. That's awesome. When I did this downstairs, I had to pull out my multi-tool. Go all weird on it. Not here. Not in the craft room. The craft room is ready for Dad. Everything is right here. Splash. Oh, I think I'll stick it on the closer magnet. Ah, what a night. What a scrummy, fuzzy, lovely night. What a scrummy, fuzzy, almost messy night. There's the maggots. Sit there. Good, those things seem to be steady. Alright, let's finish up the initial work on these. YouTube, I didn't tell you to stop playing. I don't know why you stopped playing. unfortunately, most of these are just both ends and one side. Unless, of course, I hit them with another coat, but we'll see. Okay, how's this work? I think I'll end up using the darker stain on that. I think I'll also do the two ends and then the center. Not that I really mind getting stain on my hands. I'm willing to bet these guys will get a second coat. There's a little bit of a discrepancy in how they're taking up stain. Yeah, random skill? Depends on the area, too. The coolest skull I ever saw was somebody did painting on raccoon skulls. Gorgeous stuff. All like night sky and starlight. Beautiful. Could be a dog. Honestly, it could be, a pet somebody buried. I mean, obviously, I don't know where you found it, but bones sometimes just get resurfaced. Digging creatures can pull them up, and other critters can grab them and run off with them. Used to find a lot of deer skulls on the beach. And the ones who didn't survive the winter. Way back in there, to see how these agates survive a steam. Staring at those jawbones. They haven't moved an inch though, so that epoxy putty is doing a good job. At the very least, even if they do fall, then the epoxy putty will be in position to reset them with some adhesive. That would honestly look pretty cool too. If you're doing little shrines. That could be slick. And 12 more of these, and this project will be excessively close to done. Let me just throw in the agates. I gotta check out 3D printed shrine forms, and then I should probably check out some decor pieces for the side of that thing too. Because those hexagons are so big that some of the pieces slip through. I'll close those off. This also reminds me of Alpine Fault. Abandoned Flames. Alpine Fault sounds very similar. Tomorrow is laundry, which I should probably take downstairs after I'm done here. And some Tainted Grail gaming, which should be excessively fun. Hi, goobers. Wood stain has definitely become one of my favorite things to work with. iTunes. Postings. Come on. All right, I got a note. Let's take the misprint one. I'm just curious as to how that works. I'm also curious as to how these guys come up with. So. These may need paint. Paper clay just soaks it right up.
Give it time. Okay. Just realize I've been handling this for quite a while, and not feeling any adverse effects, but I thought I'd do a quick check for little warning labels. Handled stain plenty of times. But pays to be cautious. This is a good sign. Nice. Get all the steam in my hand onto the piece in there. There's always trouble with stain uptake in your areas that have been wood burned. Laser engraved those. We don't really have that problem. YouTube. I said 2 minutes. Some of these look distinctly lighter than those. Sure, it's just reflection from the fluorescent light. Alright, it's time to take that downstairs to the electronic drawing board. The jawbones have not gone anywhere. I'm not drinking any more Naluka. My hands are all gooky. That's unplugged. Alright, so tomorrow these all get agates. And I'm looking forward to that, and I'll probably need like a leather. Probably use a piece of wood as a striking surface. And my E6000 is still downstairs. Unless I brought that up. I had the Bag of Wonders here a second ago. That's not the Bag of Wonders. Bag of Wonders has decided to run off. I will find it eventually. It's not essential for the moment. See? The Bag of Wonders. We'll install that shortly. That's for you. And that's the Bag of Wonders. Cool. Alright. Well, my song is stopped. I put a good ending point, and it's going to be almost 1 in the morning. 12:58. Listen. We'll keep these headphones a little bit more accessible for future inflamesing.
muck. We'll wash hands. Clean up brush. Mineral spirits are getting a little saturated. They've got some resin crumblies in them from varnish. Nobody saw that. Alrighty, well, that is going to wrap it up for us tonight. If anybody is still out there and watching, we're going to cease to stream. But if you have hung out with me tonight, thank you so much for chit-chatting with me and keeping me awake during all the crafting craziness. We'll be back at this eventually, either on stream or off, one way or another. I'm going to have a fantastic set of dread pieces for good times. Thank you for hanging out, Moonshine. It's been good. Alright. Let's swap to the whole screen there. Have a fantastic night, everybody. Thank you very much for hanging out, and we will catch you later. Until then, keep your pumpkins burning bright. And now we have to find the little exit thing.